We hate.
We hate because we're taught to hate. We hate because we're ignorant. We're the product of ignorant people who have been taught an ignorant thing, which is that there are 4 or 5 different races. There are not 4 or 5 different races. There's only one race on the face of the earth, and we're all members of that race, the human race. But we separated people into races so that some of us can see ourselves as superior to the others. We thought it would work, I guess. It hasn't worked. It has been bad for everyone. But it's time to get over this business. There is no gene for racism. There's no gene for bigotry. You're not born a bigot. You have to learn to be a bigot. Anything you learn, you can unlearn. It's time to unlearn our bigotry. It's time to get over this thing, and we best get over it pretty soon. I'm an educator, and it's my business as an educator to lead people out of ignorance. The ignorance of thinking that you're better or worse than someone else because of the amount of a pigment in your skin. Pigmentation in your skin has nothing to do with intelligence or with your worth as a human being. It's time to get over that.
All right. Welcome back, folks.
Okay. Greg gone. Greg, you freeze. I never freeze. Okay.
Bad night, Christina. Technical difficulties just now. My bad. What happened is I misenclosed the judgment window just now. I supposed to close the window of the video that we was playing first, and I misenclosed my own damn window just now. My fault. I only human things has happened. But let me start the audio so we could kick off officially anyhow, because I didn't start the audio previously. So all right, welcome back under the rug. For those that are on Facebook Live, you just heard that wonderful excerpt from the great Jane Elliott. She's spent her entire life fighting and combating racism, and she has some great videos. She does experiments. She does the famous blue eye, brown eye experiment where she takes blue-eyed people, which are usually white people, and treats them the way. Say again?
I know black people with blue eye.
Yeah. But that's why I say typically, you know what I mean? Typically, you know what I mean? Not all, but for the most part, you understand? And she puts them through what society tends to put people of color through. And the results are pretty surprising. So I implore all of you to go ahead, look up the blue eye, brown eye experiment if you haven't seen it as yet. It is an eye-opening experiment, and you'll learn a lot from it. So go ahead and look it up. Look up Jane Elliott. She's great. I'm a fan of what she does. And yeah, so just look it up. So welcome, folks. We're back here. We are here with the wonderful, the beautiful, the intelligent Miss Christina Marlian Thompson, a.k.a. Chrissy Love. How art thou, my dear?
Shall I write here? How are you?
You right here.
Yeah. Don't you love the hints? You ask them how they are. They tell you where they are.
Exactly.
I love it.
Hey, that's the Bahamian way, man. That's what we just do.
How you?
I am wonderful. Awesome.
Awesome, duh.
Incredible. Some big things are in the pipeline. Some things are going to happen real soon. So I'm excited on all fronts today. There's a lot of things going on, but I'm going to be extremely busy as well, which is a good thing. I don't complain about being busy. I'll go crazy if I had nothing to do. So, yeah, I'm excited right now.
Hold on.
What the hell you doing?
What Don's man is do. Him and his friends when I be spying on them.
What's going on, Sean? What did he say? Greg must see what? Greg must see the bell after break. What? I don't understand what you're trying to say, Sean. You gotta explain that one for me.
Sean is type too fast sometime and just forget.
Yeah, I know what's going on. Legal say hi, Greg and Chrissy.
Hi.
Great excerpt. Yes, it is a great excerpt. So that's what we're actually going to be discussing today. Because I think people mix it up a whole lot, Chrissy. They got this thing mixed right up.
Well,
they don't understand. What you doing?
I said we stay mixed up.
Yeah, they don't understand the difference or the dynamics of color and culture.
True.
they mixed them up quite a bit. And what made me want to discuss this issue today was I saw a video. I don't want to call it ridiculous because, discussion is good, but some of the
this, Greg.
no, I mean, okay, some of the positions from the people in the video were quite ridiculous to me. And it was a group discussion about Bruno Mars and how he's a culture vulture or what did they call it, Chrissy? Cultural appropriation. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Cultural appropriation. So they were talking about the Bruno Mars being stealing black culture or stealing from blacks, some kind of nonsense. And I just was like, what is wrong with some people? You understand? Why everybody trying to win the Victim Olympics? Why everybody want to be the most oppressed person in the world? Why everybody trying to fight for the bottom? You understand what I'm saying? I never understood that everybody want to win the Victim Olympics, and it seems to usually be black people in this case. Usually it's
pissed off.
Yeah, but my thing is, okay, I
from black people.
No, be pissed off, but my thing is, you pissed off, but you fighting for last place. What you looking for? A hug, acknowledgement? That's all you want?
Acknowledgement, reparations.
Well, you ain't no reparations, so you might as well throw that out the window. That ain't happening.
That's cold, bro.
That's the truth. That's the truth, buddy.
That's cold, Greg.
You really think any reparations coming up?
Greg, that's cold. I'm hopeful. I'm trying to get my light ready, Cece. That's what I'm trying to do, Jeff. Because I all nice and smooth. I look dead ashy. I look like I need a batch.
A batch of what? Not bleach and creamy.
Bleach them or bleach.
No, man. See, we need to talk about bleach and do it.
iPhone camera ain't kind of black skin. You see how
you better stop talking fool. Stop talking fool.
I'm telling Greg, look at my camera.
I just look good in my picture, sweet girl.
That's because you have light and you have things.
Whatever.
I have my selfie stick. Mm-hmm. It ain't charging. I can't juke it in the hole. Anyway, talk about the colorism and culture thing.
Well, yeah, you ain't had nothing drinking the hole for a while anyhow. But yeah, let's talk about
I will have you know. Anyway, not talk my business.
Go on, talk your business, then. Talk your business.
I got 99 problems. A dick ain't one of them. Thanks.
But let's talk about it, right? First of all, we need to define culture. Chrissy,
Gregory,
you being the elder statesman.
You know it?
Please tell us the definition of culture. Because I don't think people understand what that means. Because a lot of people, they see your skin color and they automatically associate you with a particular culture.
Exactly. And that's where the differing components of the argument come through. Because let's use Mr. Mars, for example. I just shared a little video of him and his 6-year-old self. Mm-hmm. CC.
CC say she's a bleacher. She say I'm a bleacher and I'm proud. Listen, CC. Well, sorry to hear that, CC. I'll never support that practice. But hey, it's your body. You can do what you want.
No, because you killing your liver.
Hey, listen, that's our body.
But still, you can't kill your liver. So
no.
I'm saying that people get confused with culture and versus color. Because again, using the Bruno Mars case in this scenario, remember, growing up in his little Hawaiian Polynesian island, he grew up listening to black music. He grew up listening to black artists. He impersonated black artists. Even though he started by impersonating Elvis, but he always was listening to our R&B. So a lot of times when we talk about culture, I think the discussion has to come in, and you and I talk about this a lot, nature versus nurture. Again, just like how you have black children, like in This Is Us, Randall grew up around a white family. Randall dead white. I think it's nurture as opposed to a lot of nature. Now, nature is a part of it, but I think sometimes we mix the two terms, culture versus color. For example,
Oops, my bad. Go ahead.
How many of us Bahamians have gone to a party with Long Island people, and when the Bahamian music start, we just marvel at all these white-looking people winding up and dancing just as good as us black Bahamians.
Exactly. And you know what that is?
But it's a culture thing and it's a color thing combined.
But also, and this is why I put this in the topic too, and I call you all racist all the time, and I admit to myself, I say, yes, you are, because
power to be racist.
Man, listen, stop talking fool.
I am prejudiced.
Like I say, all us racist, and you know why? Because what you just described, and I'll explain to you why. what you just described was an act of racism.
No, it wasn't.
Let me explain.
When I see my family dancing with their blue
Oh
eyes,
Lord.
I'd be shocked.
Because you're racist. That's exactly why. Because you are racist. Listen, you believe white people are inferior at dancing, which is why you are surprised when they are able to dance. That is you. That is racist. You are thinking simply because of the color of their skin that they are inferior. That is racism. That's what it is.
It's that they lack a particular skill set.
Oh my God!
I tell you, white people dance to the guitar, black people dance to the drum. But Greg, you know white people can't dance.
Listen, okay, and this is what I'm saying. This is why I can openly admit that yes, I am also a little racist. I believe everyone. It is damn near impossible for you to grow up in this current society and not be racist. You would be a miracle unto I don't know who if you don't have some degree of racism, because we live in a racist society, meaning we all we all have judgments of other people based on the color of their skin. Yes, it is okay. What does prejudice mean, Chrissy?
Prejudging.
What did I just say?
But you're linking prejudice to racist.
What? Because it is. If your prejudice is based off someone's skin color, then that is racist.
Greg, we've been doing these shows for 5 years. We ain't gonna never agree.
Hey, okay, we don't have to. Like Greg, I said,
Greg, hold on. I gotta go because I gotta move from here. So you keep talking. You ain't gonna see me right now. I gotta go to the light.
All right.
Hold on. I too black, so I need light.
We'll go on to the light. But like I was explaining to you, and like I always try to explain to you, Chrissy, and you say all the time, oh, but we ain't gonna never agree. I say that's fine. We don't have to. Yeah, and we don't have to agree, but like I say all the time, you could disagree, but that don't mean you're right. Disagreeing don't mean that you're right because you disagree. Because that right is right, wrong is wrong. If you look up the definition of the word, the very definition, feeling or having a feeling that someone is superior simply based on their skin color is racism. That's being racist. You understand? And this is what, when we make these prejudgments based off of someone's skin color, that's being racist. Now, like I said, I feel everyone is a little bit racist. Everyone have a degree of racism because you come up in a society that is racist. But where it's a spectrum. So where it becomes problematic is where you go to the extreme end of the spectrum. And we have some people, unfortunately, that are on the extreme ends of that spectrum. And this is where the problems get escalated and we have serious conflicts that cost lives. You understand? Now,
and black people are never gonna agree with that.
That's fine. They don't have to agree, but that don't mean they're right. They don't have to agree. I ain't in the business of getting people to agree with me. I'm sorry.
Either. But I just think that the definition, Dito said, your definition of racism, I think it's a bit narrow in its construct.
Well, I am doing with the one word. Now, if you want to do subsets of racism, if you want to do systemic racism or systematic racism, or if you want to do those branches, then we could have that discussion. That's fine. But this is based off of the word itself, the very word itself, that one word. Now, we could always branch off into other areas and into other examples of, racism. But I'm dealing with it on a very basic ground level. Very basic ground level.
But they see, this is why difficult. Conversely, and I can tell you this: I grew up in a back in the day, mostly white community in America, and then I ended up going to a school that was, again mixed up. And I will admit, when I would see black children in the rock band, it used to shock me as well. There's just certain preconceived ideas about who does what. That I don't think it's racist. I think it's just prejudice based on the fact that really. It's like when Doug Wimbish was in A Living Color, many Bahamians said, hold on, that black boy, remember? And it's a group with Corey them in Living Color, Cult of Personality. When we see black people doing rock music, it's the same shock.
And this is, you know what the problem is? We have, and whether right or wrong, whether justifiably or not, we have demonized the word racism. Like, we have put such a negative connotation on it to where, listen, let me flesh it out. Let me flesh it out, woman.
Lip gloss while you talk.
And this is why I said, whether justified or not, but we put such a negative we made it an extreme, and so nobody wants to be associated with it at all. I understand why. I get it. I understand why no one wants to be called a racist, why no one wants to associate themselves with that word. However, based off of the definition, we all are to some degree. And like I said, it's a spectrum. So what you're describing with the white people being able to dance or the black people in the rock band, it is a degree of racism, but that is very minute and nobody getting hurt from that. You understand? That's not hurting anybody. It's just an opinion or a prejudgment that you have based off of that person's skin color, because you know that typically these persons don't tend to be either good at this thing or dabble into this area. And that's where you have to start to differentiate color and culture. Right. You understand? You have to differentiate color and culture. And what happened is we are so narrow-minded at times that we just associate the color with the culture just because, okay, you that color, then that means you must be a part of this culture. Well, and that's where the danger lies.
It is assumed, but if you're a black person, for example, if you're a black person, okay, I'll give you an example that hits close to home. I had a lot of my cousins who went to the bougie school out east that a lot of people associate with the dominant culture. And I remember...
Y'all just kill me with these terms, boy.
Culture.
The dominant culture.
My cousins watch your show.
Oh, you always kill me.
Because I remind them, how you white and me and you come from the same root. Anyway, but I'm just saying, it's like how when you go, I remember my cousin, she used to go to the school and we go to her birthday party. And when her friends from the school came in, she said to them, let's play Charlie over the water. Now, again, she was taught by British teachers. She was taught by, she was in that school since she was in the ELC, the early learning program. So she had a bit of an accent. Okay. Mm. But then when we walk in the door, her first words to us say, babe, where's my gift, babe? I said, how are you going from England to Exuma in 2 seconds? Again, it's a lot of what you grow up around. A black child growing up in Iowa with a white family can talk differently, can act differently, can think differently. But see, again, when you're not a part of the dominant culture, the society...
why you keep saying that?
Because that's what it is, Greg.
You in the Victim Olympics too?
No, I'm not. I'm just reminded every day that I'm black. You see,
what is the dominant culture? Explain the dominant culture for me.
Is white people. European culture has taken over.
Hold on. Again, you say white people. Now, see, again, you go on the color. I asked you, what is the dominant culture? What are the behaviors? What makes up this culture? Give me some examples of this culture that is so dominant.
The European culture is the dominant factor in the world.
What is the European culture? You have to give me what are the types of behaviors?
Caucasians.
What are the
white people culture that tells you? Oh
Lord, Chrissy, you ain't give me no answers, Chrissy. Give me like how I could say what tends to be okay. Let's look at the American hip hop culture. That's the way they dress, the kind of outfits. It's the music that they listen to. It's the way that they walk. These are examples of a culture. You ain't giving me no examples. You keep giving me a color. Okay, what are the examples of the dominant culture?
The lighter skin, the straighter hair, the opportunities that exist when you are predominantly white.
Okay. White. Now you say straighter hair. I know some people that are not white with straight hair.
I do too.
I know. So I need you to give me some. See, I'm gonna say straight hair. There are people that are not white. Lots of people that have straight hair. So that is not a white culture.
Greg, the Eurocentric culture that is pervasive in the world shows itself by its treatment of people who are black and brown.
Christina, I can need some
like, for example, I'm sure when Kaylee came out of her mama and the family saw her color, they were like, "Ooh, yeah."
Say again. Sorry. I missed that.
Sure, when your baby was born and they saw her color with her curly hair, I'm sure a couple of your old Grammy them and auntie them said, "Yes, well done, grasshopper."
Okay. Well, I don't. If they did, they didn't say it to me. You understand? They didn't say it to me.
Culture is predominant.
But you see here, okay, like this is an example of a culture.
The comments.
Cecilia says money protection. See, that is an act. That is something that can be a part of a culture. These are the kind of examples that I'm trying to get from you, other than just saying, oh, the dominant culture, white people, or Eurocentric culture. What is that composed of? Because if you said a dominant culture, you know what seems to be the dominant culture to me?
What's that?
Hip hop culture.
Yeah.
When you look around the entertainment industry, when you look at media, hip hop seems to be dominating. That is a culture that I see as dominant.
But still, Meek Mill getting pulled over because he black.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so while they may love hip hop, and while hip hop may be played in all these suburban homes, and I see it here in America all the time. If I see one little white boy sagging one more time, I'm gonna throw up. But he will go to his Caucasian roots to stay out of jail and don't get shot, though. See, you can't have culture. See, unlike people who can unzip their color, I can't do that. I walk in the streets all the time, and I am first judged as a black woman. My son walks in the street. My son and I argue all the time. When I see him coming home with his hoodie on his head, I'd be like, take that damn hoodie off.
Listen here, Chrissy, do you agree with this? Because Jason making some comments. He says hip hop is not, in all caps, a culture.
Okay, well, I think it is. How is it not a culture?
This is what I'm saying. He has to explain to me.
Of black culture, it's a
don't. And you know what? My thing is, don't just make a statement without some kind of substance or some backing for your statement. So, Jason, no, I agree. Everyone can have their opinion. That's fine. But I would like to know why you have this opinion. Please inform us, Jason. I love to learn. Inform us as to why hip hop is not, in all caps, a culture. I would love to learn that today. So please explain. Matter of fact, I need to send you the link because you could come on the show and you could explain that as a person. I like to talk to people. I don't like the whole comments thing. So Jason might be in church. You know Jason, eh?
Of course I know Jason. I know everybody who listens to these shows.
Jay, I already sent you the link. Jay, I sent you the link already. Jay, I need you to tell me. Come on the show and tell me if you agree with Jason. Jason,
me and Jay was just talking about damn Drake, Tiffin culture with his little reggae song.
What you mean, Tiffin culture? Okay, see, anyhow,
Jamaican culture.
You know what? I can wait till Jay get on for us to get into the whole music aspect of it. So, like you said, Drake, and like I said, the conversation I saw with Bruno Mars and all of that, it is a vein of art. See, this is where you're wrong, Jason, and this is where I can explain to you. You said it is a vein of art. Rap music is an art. Hip hop is all encompassing of the music, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you walk. That is hip hop. Break dancing, all of these things come under the umbrella of hip hop, which is why we say it's a culture. Rap itself is an art. Fashion is an art. So these things on their own are arts that come under a culture of hip hop. So you are pigeonholing hip hop into a genre, Jason. You looking at it as, okay, this is a genre of music. No, we're talking about hip hop as a culture, not as a music genre. Rap is a music genre.
Before hip hop, there was rap. When Kool Herc in the 70s started rap and hip hop, again, hip hop is a subset of the rap culture. Because before the sagging pants, whatever, you had the Adidas sneakers, you had the big thick earrings, you had the chain links. So again, but that's all under the subheading of black culture. And that is why when people
hold on. Now that's where you're getting dangerous. That ain't black culture. Okay, so someone in Zimbabwe, that's their culture?
Again, Black American culture.
Oh, you ain't said that twice. And again, so someone from the suburbs that never used to listen to hip hop, is that their culture?
Greg, it is black culture.
No, it is not.
For example, everything in my culture I don't ascribe to. I don't eat damn sheep tongue sauce. That's a part of my culture.
You can't say that's black culture if that does not apply to all black people.
That's not true.
Oh, come on, Chrissy.
For example, Greg, eating Wiener Schnitzel is Swiss culture. Just because I eat it over here in the damn store, that don't mean I friggin' Swiss. Just because Lindt chocolate is Swiss culture. Greg, you cannot pick and choose.
No, listen what I'm saying, right? That very thing that you are doing is exactly why Meek Mill is get pulled over, because he's black. Because the police associate him with the black culture that they know simply because he's black, and that's where it gets dangerous. That's why I say you can't do that, because it becomes problematic when you associate a whole race of people, a whole color of people with a certain culture is dangerous. And this is why black people get pulled over just for being black, because the white cops associate them with that black culture. They say, this is you are part, you black, so you must be this aggressive person that loves hip hop and commits crime.
But it is assumed when you are black that there's certain behaviors you espouse. I could be a black girl growing up, and I've had people say it to me, I've had Bahamians at home. Okay, foreign white expats. You don't talk like them. What the fuck is that? The thing is, people automatically assume that I'm a black person behind a wheel, that I'm a threat.
But this is what I'm saying. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. I'm saying the thing that you are doing, that very thing that's associating people just because of their skin color, is what creates the problem. Now,
I don't think it creates the problem. You are just born looking a certain way, and therefore it is assumed that you are kindred spirits with your tribe. Your tribe, the black people, the black race, the black culture. Say Junkanoo's not Bahamian culture.
I don't think Jason gets it, you know. I don't think Jason understands. Listen, Junkanoo is not Bahamian culture. Junkanoo is a part of Bahamian culture. You understand? It is a music art form that was created that is a part of Bahamian culture. I'm not saying Junkanoo is Bahamian culture. I wouldn't say that. That's like saying rap is hip hop, is what I said earlier, right? It's not that. That is just a part of it. A culture is all encompassing. It's your behaviors. It's the way you live. It's the things you do. Yes, when we eat our food, the way we cook, the way we dress, all of this is our culture. You understand?
The Junkanoo, by the way, just for we're not the only country with Junkanoo. I think Bahamians get that sometime.
That is true. That is true. You're right. But a lot of people don't know.
But color and culture, Greg, there's always going to be cross-pollination between color and culture. Because, again, my son walks out in the street, okay? It is assumed that my son is a black thug who loves Migos and who, now, if he have on his tennis racket, they might look a little different at him. But it is assumed the minute your black skin walk out the door, that you are a black man. What Hillary say? A predator. So there are assumptions made because of your skin color. See, white people could walk the world and don't have them assumptions and them negative connotations put onto them. Black people don't have that luxury.
But they have some, and a lot of y'all. Well, let me not say y'all. A lot of people do have negative prejudgments of white people. A lot of people do. So it's not fair to say that they don't walk with that. Now, it may not be the same. It may be different things, but people do have negative prejudgment a lot, especially right now. The most unpopular thing right now in the world is a white male. Everybody got something bad to say about white males right now. They are at the bottom right now in terms of opinion and public opinion. White males are at the bottom right now. So people have these. No, listen, I get why, but again, it can be problematic when you do those things, because now every white male is guilty, just like how now every black male is guilty. So when you have these prejudgments just because of someone's skin color, it becomes extremely dangerous. And this is why we have these issues that we have now. Jay, I sent you the link again, but I only getting one tick. I don't know if your phone on or if it dead, but Jay keeps saying he want in. But I sent you the link, Jay. I don't know where else you want me to send it. You want me to send it on Facebook or what?
Read Miss Green's comment, and this is a conversation you and I have had.
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me read Miss Green's comment. Put it back up.
Of creating these things to keep us divided and stupid.
Yes. Race is a social construct. There is no DNA gene for race. Racial categories are political and are used to support hierarchies of power. And I couldn't agree with you more, Ann. I couldn't agree with you more. This is why it's so ridiculous. A lot of the things that happen is so ridiculous that we have these issues simply because someone is lighter or darker than somebody else. How stupid is that? We're supposed to be the most advanced species, advanced race on the planet, but yet we can't get past the color of somebody's skin. And we have the stupidest arguments and stupidest conflicts over this one simple thing that nobody could control.
Because guess what? Guess what? Dito driving down the street, okay, late at night, he sees some lights behind him. He ain't gonna panic. My son driving down the street, some police lights behind him, he can panic. I've seen white people cuss out the police. The fuck you want me for? You let a black person try that shit.
Oh, Jay say Facebook. Hold on, let me try and send him the link on Facebook. But you understand what I'm saying, right?
Greg. But I think again we have to look at the nature versus nurture. You brought up the Bruno Mars thing. All right. Say
hold on, wait. Let's wait till Jay reach because you know that's his field too. He like music. Let me. But go ahead. Sorry, make your point. Let me try Adam.
I have a conversation at Don't Watch That in Studios when we were talking about again Drake trying to be a Jamaican with that last album. Drake Jamaicaned his way all through that album. Let me duck for my son throw a big rock at me.
You know we in love with Drake now.
Boy, look here. All these children love Drake. And
of course, because he makes good music. You know, I like a lot of his music too.
He does make good music. But then again, I remember being teased when I was in school. I went to a predominantly white college, and I remember people being shocked and amazed that I loved some country music and that I loved some rap, some rock. Like again, the same assumptions that we all have. People are amazed when you tell them. I remember going to a Katie Lang concert. First of all, they wondered if I was a lesbian, and they're like, "Why do you like that white?"
Why everybody think you was a lesbian? Anyhow, go ahead.
Because Katie Lang is a lesbian. I guess only lesbians go to Katie Lang concerts. When I went to a concert, I went because I liked the music.
Exactly, and this is why it's so ridiculous.
Jasmine.
Over music, like my thing, I get it. Okay, so let me ask you, at what point does it become appropriation? Because there's a line and on two sides, right? There's appreciation and appropriation.
Justin Timberlake is appropriation.
Explain why. So tell me what crosses the line. What crosses it over from appreciation to appropriation?
No link to the black community. Justin just had some good producers who decided to give him that sound. It's like Iggy Azalea rapping. She just had T.I. making her music. You have to have some link to the culture in order to understand what the culture is about. You can't come out of the suburbs of Michigan, never even have nigga, you was on the Mickey Mouse Club. MICKEYMOUS fucking E.
Okay. So is there a time limit? Like, okay. So let's say, yes, because I really trying to get to the bottom of this, right? So let's say I did come up in the suburbs. I was in the Mickey Mouse Club, but all of a sudden I was introduced to some rappers or some people, and I like this. I could get with this. I feel it. I hanging out with them, spending time with them, learning their culture, appreciating their culture. I put out some music, and you don't accept it because you say you have to have some ties. So where do ties begin? Is there a time limit? Do you have to be born into the culture, or can you be introduced to the culture later on in life and still have ties and appreciate it that way?
I don't know, Greg. It's like, for example, Johnny Kemp just got paid. Okay, he did all right. Justin Timberlake just got paid. What made Justin Eminem's appropriation.
You know what the answer to that is? Okay, Jay Reach. You know what the answer to that is, Christina? Here, I can answer your question. I can answer that with a question. What percent of population in the United States is white?
Black. I used to know this out of my head, but I don't. Tell me what it is.
Would you dare to say that it's more than 70%?
Well, to me in America right now, everybody look white. And maybe because I'm in this white-ass town.
Okay, we could Google it, but this is the answer to the question. The reason why, and I hear a lot of black people use this, right? Why? Oh, okay, this black person has been doing this for so long, but the minute this white person does it, oh, they take off and they're so successful and experiencing all this success. You know why that is? It's because
white person records?
It's very simple. It's simple mathematics. It's very not that. But black people only represent 15% of the population. 15% of the population. Yes.
That's all?
Yes. So it only makes sense out of simple mathematics that if a white person does something just as good or almost just as good as somebody else, they have a wider audience because people tend to gravitate towards people they can relate to and that look like them, and they support them in that way. So if let's say it's 70% white, we could always look it up on Wikipedia or whatever. That's a simple lookup. But if let's use 70% for now, if 70% are white and 15% are black, don't you think that if a white person is doing the same thing, they would experience more success just off of numbers?
I don't know, because all those white people mightn't like Justin. After that Super Bowl performance, I want to punch him in his face.
But that's what I'm saying. All don't. Let's say all. I don't have to be all 70%. But if 30% of them like him, that's still twice as much of the entire black
And
population.
that's our argument, that white people rule the world.
No, but my thing is, I hear ridiculous arguments all the time from people on this issue.
So
Like,
why
let's make sense, man.
didn't
So
Pardon?
white
Bam
people
just got
driving
paid?
force of the
Justin sang
market,
the song
especially when you
exactly like
talk about
Johnny.
art.
All he was missing was the red skin and locks and the Bahamian moves. It's the same friggin' song. It's
Okay,
the
go ahead.
Bob Marley. Well,
Go
hold on.
ahead,
I
Jay.
think Bob.
Let me hear, Jay. Joey, your thoughts on the topic, what you heard thus far?
I mean, I only
CJ?
got the tail. Hey, Chrissy, how you doing? I just caught the tail end. Hip hop is a culture, folks.
CJ.
Let's not debate
Who
that.
saw more, Bob Marley, I Shot the Sheriff, or Eric Clapton, I Shot the Sheriff?
Who
Again, I
sold
just told you why. I just told you why, Chrissy. I just explained to you why that would happen. I just explained that. But go ahead, Jay.
When you go
Your
to
thoughts.
Coachella, right? And you go to Coachella and you see all these white girls with their cornrows and their African dots. I want to slap the shit out them.
Why?
And they have
Hold on. You want to slap the black girls you see with all these long straight weave and these Peruvian women?
Yeah.
Why you don't slap them? Keep that
Yeah.
same energy.
I want to slap them too, especially them.
Okay.
blonde.
Okay, at least you consistent. Keep that same energy.
Lil Kim.
Keep that same energy. At least you consistent.
You know what? I
So-
don't mean to offend my white family. Whenever I see white people in dashiki, I just want to punch them.
Oh Lord. But go ahead, Jay. Me and letting Jay talk. Go ahead, Jay.
So cornrows,
can't
let me
hear,
get it.
that's why.
Cornrow is only for black people. So there's no can you get your hair braided? Like that's totally wrong.
Chrissy, I think he asking you that question.
Oh, I can't hear.
Oh, you can't hear him?
That's why I kept talking. I couldn't hear.
Oh, you can't. Why you can't hear him? I can hear him fine.
How come he's not on the screen with us?
He on the screen with us.
Okay, what I need.
That's your phone. Something. Hold on. Let me make sure. Let me look on the video on Facebook because I could see and hear Jay fine. Okay. While I look on, let me check Facebook. Jay, go ahead and weigh in on what you've heard thus far.
Well, like I said, what I heard thus far, it was a conversation about hip hop not being a culture and hip hop versus John Canoe and all this other stuff. And I totally agree with
Let me
you.
get my other phone.
Hip hop is a culture because it's more than just music. It's a lifestyle. It's more than the art. Rap, don't forget, rap is poetry, right? Rap is a part of the hip hop culture, but it's not everything. You have dancing, you have fashion, you have actual art that is inspired by hip hop. The same John Canoe. John Canoe is a part of the Bahamian culture that is always being redefined. Some people throw food in it, some people throw the dialect, which is appropriate, but it's one of those things that can't be defined because we're so mixed up and we exclude so many other cultures because of our different biases. I don't know if you guys touched on the overall topic, which is everybody has a bit of racism or everybody can be racist. I think it is true. Everybody has a bit of racism, even if it's unintentional, because we all play up to different stereotypes. So if I see a white person do something super athletic, I'd be like, oh, I would be surprised because white people can't do that, right? The same as when certain black people see when they deem a certain class of another black person having a certain level of excellence, they're surprised because they put them in the stereotype. Race, the isms or discrimination is just based on what your level of exposure is. So everybody has yes, Chrissy, yes, it's prejudice, discrimination, same thing. All come from the same umbrella. It's just divided. I think Miss Green had a point about it being a construct, a political construct. That is absolutely true. It's a device that was invented to divide, and it's one of those devices that is very hard to dismantle because it's been bought and it is being taught every single day. You're being conditioned to it. So it is what it is. Only education and exposure to the world fights.
Yes. Oh, Jay, you're breaking up there.
Dump it out all the way. The only thing you do is
Hey, what's going on with your internet connection, man? You're breaking up like crazy just now. But tell me, hopefully it connects, get a strong connection now. But I see Yasmir says, I have a problem with people trying to take ownership of any genre of music. And you know what? I agree with Yasmir on that. I hate to hear this discussion of who owns this music, who can do this kind of music. I come from music, right? I don't care what you look like, what your background is. I like, if it sound good, I can listen to it, I can support it, I can buy it. I don't care where you come from or who invented. That don't matter to me. I don't give a damn.
Really?
It's music. It's entertainment. It's entertainment.
I have
That's all it is.
Igloo Australia doing rap. Major problem.
But you know what to do, right? Here's the thing, Chrissy. Let me tell you what to do.
Don't support it.
Thank you very much. That's all.
But I like.
Okay, so we have a jazz party, right? We have a jazz party that came from the Bahamas. So I mean, not jazz is a bad example. The jazz has been associated with Black culture, right? So just say we have a Black classical. Should he be excluded from the conversation because he's Black? It's not for us.
Again, let's try this one, Jay. I got one even better for you. So is LeBron James cultural appropriating the NBA?
No.
Well, the NBA was invented by a white man. Why he playing? Why is he in the NBA? Why is he playing basketball? Why is he playing basketball? If your argument is that this person doesn't have the right to benefit off of this thing that us Black people create because they are not Black, then you better keep that same energy and you better be mad at the entire damn near 70-80% of the NBA, all these fellas who are benefiting from something that was invented by, guess what? White people. It was invented by whites and now dominated by Blacks. Why don't you have a problem with that?
Dominated only on the player level. The ownership level is still pretty white.
Well, that's true. But again, the point is, they were saying Bruno Mars, they mad because he's so successful, and they say, they said he's using his racial ambiguity to his advantage. We don't know what he is. He's getting the benefit of the Blacks and the whites.
Which is stupid because Bruno Mars, if you look at his lineage, right? He is half Puerto Rican, and I believe his mother is Filipino. He grew up in the Hawaiian Islands, right? You realize the Latin American individuals, whether you be in Caribbean or whatever, they all come from Africa as well. They're just slaves that went to a different port and adopted a different culture based on who their colonizers were. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. So to say that he isn't Black or he doesn't have an entitlement to make quote unquote Black music is absolutely stupid. He's good at it. Music is an art form. It's a part of the humanities. So if you are good at something, go ahead and do it and push that music genre or that culture forward. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's like saying Alan can't do sculptures in a certain way because XYZ European did it and that's for that club. Hell no.
It's ridiculous.
You don't understand.
Yeah, the whole conversation is just
Black people play the victim.
But what about Drake? How you feel about Drake, Jay?
Drake is a African light skinned African Canadian, whatever you want to call it. He came to get listen no. He came to a place to be inspired, and you know what he did? He put those Jamaican artists on. Drake has a club, a group of DJs that are in his camp that get paid to perform. He has put into that community. I wouldn't be mad if Drake come here. I would not be mad at all because with him comes a certain limelight, and with him comes a certain
Stevie Wonder
opportunity.
So what is your big? I saw your facial reactions when we were discussing it. What is your big issue with? Because you were ready to break out your tambourine and start clapping when I said the point that someone made about Bruno Mars's racial ambiguity. Tell me your thoughts on that, Chrissy.
But that's just it. He is racially ambiguous, like most of the world.
Light-skinned man. That's all it is.
I think that we have to take each incident on its own merit. What you and Jay tend to do whenever we talk is that you stretch this definition across everything. Okay, Bruno is mixed up.
We all mixed up, Chrissy. What you talking about?
But some of us are more mixed
Hold
up
on.
than
Oh,
others. And I know
All
that's
us
not
mixed
true
up.
hold
for
on,
Gen
hold
X,
on,
but
hold
You
on.
know, humans been in existence. What? No, most people can't tell you past their great grandparent. They don't know who make their great grand. We don't know where we come from. We don't know who make us. Look how light you is. You can tell me you ain't mixed up.
because I know that my great grandmother was white.
Okay,
I know
this
that.
is why all us mixed up.
So you're ambiguous too.
So I want Jay to talk about how Drake is okay now, but when we was in Don't Watch Done Studios, he was cussing Drake.
I have a love-hate relationship with Drake.
And did Greg just go there?
And no, seriously, I have a love-hate relationship with Drake. Drake is one of those artists you have to respect based on his grind. I hate him because I feel that sometimes he oversaturates himself. But that's just my personal opinion. Can I say that he's a trash artist? No, because I think he's done well to put himself and Canadian artists on. And I think he is one of those artists that can put on any culture because of the strength of his individual brand.
Chrissy, what your problem is with Drake?
He too light skinned.
I like Drake, and maybe I like Drake because again, I like his music. I have a son who listens to Drake a lot, so I hear a lot of the music. But when Jay was talking about the fact that that last album sounded very Jamaican, when Stevie Wonder did songs in the key of life, and he went to Jamaica and did Master Blaster jamming, people were saying the same things about Stevie. I know y'all young children don't know who the hell I talking about, but read more. And so the thing is, there's always going to be this conversation about who's biting off of who. But I think we have to be honest in the conversation because a lot of it is nurture as opposed to nature. What you grow up with.
Right, and this is
you is black and Thai. But my nephew like hip hop.
right. But this is a good question. Lizona Bethel says, "Can other races take Native American music, make a killing from it, and it not be appropriation?" Now, here's my thing, right?
Take the culture.
Watch this, right? I got asked this question. What makes it up? And this is what I was trying to ask Chrissy earlier. What makes it appropriation? What takes it over that thin line? Because we have appreciation on one side and appropriation on the other side. Let's look at this. Let me give you an example. I come up, let's say I come up, okay, I'm a black person. I come up in a white neighborhood, white people, and I learn, I love country music, right? Love it. Because I grew up around it. I love it. I attach to it. This is what I love. This is what I do. I start to make country music, right? This is what I enjoy doing. I put it out and somehow it makes money. So what makes it appropriation? When it starts to make money? Or is it the person shouldn't do it at all? Because I'm coming from a genuine place. I appreciate it, so I do it. But if I become successful now, all of a sudden it's appropriation. It wasn't appropriation when I was broke and wasn't making money from it. So is money the factor in determining whether something is appropriation or not? What's the determining factor for appropriation? Tell me.
The root. It's like, so what's next? Dolly Parton singing Migos?
Okay, so if someone is... Okay, so if someone is genuine, like I just described,
we modeled that they're doing music, and if you see what Migos are doing, they're not afraid to experiment. These new cats aren't afraid to experiment. Once they're selling records and they get turned, they don't care. Yeah. For me, with the appropriation and appreciation, the difference pretty much is money does have a part to play in it, but it's not. It's linked to, are you linked to that society? Whether it be through your lineage or are you giving back to that community? You're not just mining and enriching yourself. So for me, with Drake, my beef with Drake when the album came out is what he did to one of the artists. I can't remember the name of the artist on the particular track where I think he took his name off because it was some back and forth business situation. But as it came out, that was a business situation that happened between them. For me, someone coming here and say, okay, going in someone's studio and taking all the raw vocals of a Junkanoo thing, taking it back to California, making all these killer billboard beats and not doing nothing back in the community where you got it from, that's appropriation. That's straight up stealing.
Okay. Or acknowledging it, and that's what Dito just, let me put it back up here. Right. Dito says appropriation, the action of taking something the action of taking something for one's own use, typically without the owner's permission. So basically stealing something. So do we feel like Bruno Mars is stealing from, and who's the owner? Like, who's the owner? Who's the owner? Who do you go to get?
Bruno Mars is not. He's just creating good
People are
music.
salty because guess what? And especially y'all, you and Jay are talking about music a lot. Remember, there was a time in the music industry when black people were churning out all this wonderful, wonderful work and getting no credit for it, not even getting their names on their records. So there's a level of distrust, mistrust, and dislike for this whole stealing who I am. It's like how even during when we were captives and we had no freedom. Let me get this right. So you basically take in all the things that titty them in the yard teaching you. Titty them, the slave. Titty them.
I was going to say titty what?
And you making it fancy. You take our big bungie in Victorian England. You tease our big bungie. You make jokes about the Venus Hottentot, but you make your Victorian hoop skirts to have a big ass so you could look like us. You're teething our shit and black people mad.
But hold on. See, and this where's the copyright for these things?
We have a big bunkie. That's our copyright.
Where's the copyright for not only black people? I see some Latin women. Yes. Let me tell you something, my friend.
Because they black.
Hey, mind you, I see a couple of white women.
Hold on. Latin people black now. Latin people black now.
You see that right, Jay? When is appropriate for the argument?
It's appropriate. Yeah.
You know
okay, bye. Bye, Chrissy.
I can't hear Jay.
All right, let me read Anne. Well, this is an essay Anne put right here. This is a long one. Anne say race is a political tool. The U.S. Census 2020 will ask non-whites to list their historic ethnic backgrounds by geography. Many African Americans do not know where their relatives come from in Africa. If black U.S. citizens do not fill out the form, the government can use the census data to shrink congressional voting districts. We all know what redesigning voting districts. Hold on, someone wants to come in to move. Okay, redesigning voting districts does to the government really care where citizens came from way back. Okay, we agree on this. We agree that it is a tool that's used in politics. It's a tool that's used to divide in many facets of life, right? And this is why it's so ridiculous to me. And I hear people having these passionate arguments over this, in my opinion, these stupidest things you could ever find to argue about. And you know what often the case is? There's never a real solution.
At least
never a real solution, you know. What'd you say, Chrissy?
At least Bruno hiring black people.
But my thing is, they see what they kept going to was the problem is his success. So this is why I asked the question: when does it become appropriation? Is it when the person starts to benefit? But you said it's at the root, which would mean if they appreciate it and if they have some ties, they grew up in the culture, they appreciate the culture, then it can never be appropriation. Is that the case, Chrissy?
Well, I think that's a part of it, but black people so piss off with the world in general that they get mad at anybody who they see is taking their shit. Because you looking at people who never had no agency and who mad at every fucking thing. Being in America, I understand why black Americans so fucking mad.
But let me say like the children say, but dine yawns. Let me say like the Bahamian children and say, dine yawns.
You know that's
like yours.
Black people, every New Year's Day, black people been making Hoppin' John for the longest. I gone in this bougie restaurant right after New Year's, and I see they had, same Hoppin' John, black eyed peas and rice, but it was bougie and fancy with a couple sprig on it. So all of a sudden, it was Chateau Le Bullshit creation.
Okay.
How long we been eating black eyed peas and rice on New Year's Day?
Okay.
Hey,
do they have a black chef?
Man,
Chrissy Jay asked if they have a black chef. They didn't. It ain't their fault if y'all ain't market it and package it right.
How the fuck we gonna market it? We was too busy being beaten, holes down.
Oh, Lord, there we go.
This ain't the Victim Olympics. This is the truth.
Come on, Chrissy.
The world is built on white supremacy, European dominance. That's why just now you have our deputy prime minister and the phenotypically white minister going to the EU to kiss their hip to try to get off one list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. While I agree.
Any child Bruno still get? How many Grammys Bruno get? 7?
Grammys don't mean nothing to me. Y'all need to stop praising the Grammys. Y'all want to go in people's house in there and tell them, hey, give me something, yeah? Y'all going into people's house and saying, give me this trophy, give this. No, I deserve this.
Set up on white supremacy.
We'll set up your own system.
We do have our own systems. But because of the spirit of racism, our award shows, our systems tend not to be as affluential.
You know why? Because we don't support it. We value the Grammys more than the BET Awards. That's our problem.
Because do you ever see the BET Award on a sticker on your CD? No.
Again.
Gramophone.
Again, it's our problem that we have not created something that we can hold in the same regard as these white created awards and ceremonies. Create your own award and ceremony and hold it in the same regard. So all of the prominent people in that field, let's say the prominent black artists, stop going to the Grammys and show up at the BET Awards. Stop going to the Oscars and show up to the BET Movie Awards or whatever it is.
Why do you saying BET is the only one?
And even with music, they complaining, right? Okay, they mad because Bruno's successful. They call off all the great artists, all these great black artists that weren't as successful, right? And I could guarantee you, they have never purchased nothing from that artist who they talking about should have been more successful. If you don't support it, don't come here and make noise.
Well, see, I buy, so that I don't know. I just think that, again, the world has been so built on white supremacy. Black folk are angry, and I don't damn blame them.
Hey, be mad, but hey, at least try to fix the problem. Don't just be mad for being mad. Say, that's my problem. I ain't have no problem with you being angry, you know. But it's your reaction. We can just be mad and just make noise. You just will make noise just to be heard.
It changed, and that's why people, for example, it's like the historically black schools. You didn't let me go to school, so we created our own schools. That's all I'm saying. We always find solutions because we have to. There's no choice. You have to find a solution.
Okay, let me see. Dito said
the Bahamas because again of the opportunities afforded to them.
Hold on, let me read the thing before that, and then you could speak on that. He says, so how come the Jews were able to create such economic abundance in the last 100 years? And he also says Chinese is do it in the Bahamas. And what you were saying, Chrissy, your point on that?
Now these systems are open and amenable to that. Again, there is a system.
What's this? Is there a law? Okay, is there a law? Is there something written that says that Chinese can get these things and black or Bahamians can't?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about it.
Have you ever tried opening up a business in the Bahamas? How come the doors get flown
open
for Mr. Oban Energies? But when Ethan Bain was trying to do a lot of energy conservation, when other Bahamians did it, those doors weren't flung open. How come the doors flung open for Bahamar?
Hey,
other Bahamians have hotels.
Chrissy, who fling the door open?
I agree.
Who fling the door open?
I agree. And that's
don't tell me who fling the door open.
You and I on the same page.
Okay.
Because
the black people fling the door open. Come on, man.
The spirit in the Bahamas makes it such that white is right. You come here to the Bahamas with an empty briefcase, and we believe your lies and your promises because we've been brainwashed into thinking that the lighter, the whiter, the foreigner is better. And that is why the Bahamas is in the shitty condition that it's in now.
You're absolutely right. I don't disagree with you on that at all. I don't disagree. But that's why, and this goes back to what we were saying earlier, that is when you associate a color with a culture automatically. These are the kinds of problems that can arise by simply associating someone with a particular culture just because of their skin color. And that is extremely dangerous. That has been my entire point. This is why I want to
agree on that. We all agree on that. But I'm just
but you only agree in certain circumstances because earlier I told you it was problematic and I told you when you were actually doing it.
If someone dying, it's problematic. The fact that Bruno won 7 Grammys, that ain't gonna make no one shoot me in the street. Like how they shot down Johnny Gamage, a black middle-class man in a bougie neighborhood driving a Jaguar. But just because he was black and niggas can't drive a Jaguar, they shot his ass.
Yeah, and these kind of problems happen. But again, that's what I say. The whole thing is we have to learn to separate it. A skin color is simply a skin color. That's all it is. You can't control that. You ain't had no control over your parents juicing who they decide to juice and had baby.
I did.
Right? That had nothing to do with you. But what we tend to do as human beings is we like to associate just because you is this color, then that must mean that you feel this way or you do these kind of things because of your color. They associate you with this culture just because of your color, and that's dangerous. We gotta move away from doing that. Now I get it. As human beings, your self-preservation. So if your experience where a particular group of persons has been a certain way, you will then go forward automatically thinking that those people are like this. That's just your brain trying to protect you. We get that. But you have to kind of control that to a degree. You understand? You have to get a hold of that. And we don't tend to do that very well in society. And that's our issue. Jay, your closing remarks, because I got to wrap this up. I got to run to one meeting. We got to peel out your closing remarks on it, please.
Get over it at this point. History is history. You have to know your history so you can know where it is that you're going. So I agree with a lot of the things that Chrissy said, but you can't use it as a crutch. Or something to make yourself feel good because you're not applying yourself properly. I think a lot of people do that. A lot of African Americans do it. A lot of Bahamians do it when they quote unquote fail for lack of actually trying. This big boogeyman puppet. Mind you, there are economic obstacles put in the place of people of color. That is true. However, there are ways to maneuver to get around it. A lot of us are doing it. And people, I think people went to Black Panther, and this is, people are gonna laugh at this, right? But there were, even though it was a Disney movie and it profited white people, there was a lot of messages in that for the Black community and not just a superhero movie made for us. It showed us that if we actually supported each other and pushed each other and believed in each other, we could create something great. So I don't want to people to miss that message and to use that moving forward. As it goes to music, music is a culture, music is humanity.
Music is an art form. Jay, you there? Oh, you're breaking up.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're breaking up. Anyhow, folks, well, we got to wrap this one up. I wish we could have talked some more. Why you tell Michael Jackson that? Anyhow, I wish we could have talked about this some more, but I do have to run to a very important meeting, and so we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Listen, please go ahead and share the video. Please go ahead and hit that share button. It don't cost you nothing. Share it, tag your friends in it. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube. Make sure subscribe. We're trying to get some more subscribers on YouTube. We need to get those subscribers up. So look for the Under the Rug podcast on YouTube. Also, if you want to find everything, just go to goundertherug.com. Everything is there. It gives you easy access to the shows, the videos from this show, the videos from One Entrepreneur, the older videos from Chrissy's show back in the day when she was on Facebook. Just go to goundertherug.com. You can find all those things. Please support CEO and Make Noise. Listen, support the thing, eh? Support the thing. We as Black people right here trying to do big things. You all want to make noise, but how the white is the dominant culture, but you all listening and supporting all the white media and ain't supporting the Black media. So go ahead and support us, the Black media right here. Don't make noise about white people being dominant and dominant culture and ruling things if you don't support your own. So put your money where your mouth is and put that support in. Go to goundertherug.com. Go ahead, share this video. I want to see as much people as watch this video. I need to see shares. So go ahead and share the video, and let's see if y'all really mean what y'all be saying, or y'all just want to beat up y'all gum for the internet. So go ahead and support. Thanks again, Chrissy. Much appreciated, Jay, all the time. Always a pleasure. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. And until next time, peace out.